Hello, good day, everyone. I'm welcoming you all to the part three of our CVP analysis discussion. So this will be the last part, I believe, for our CVP analysis topic. So let me share with you a Bible verse from Proverbs 14, verse 23. It says there that all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. So make sure that do, um, we act, no, um, rather than just plan. Okay, so let's do it. Um, let's do it. Let's pray for it and let's go for it. Okay. So before we um tackle the CVP graph or the break even prof point graph. So let me refresh to you with a cost behavior analysis. So since we are talking about costs here, the variable cost, the fixed cost, so this is the study of how specific costs respond to changes in the level of business activity. So some costs change, others remain the same, and the costs that pertains here, or the costs which changes with the level of activity, pertains to the variable cost, while those that remain the same within the relevant range, that pertains to the fixed cost. And we will also introduce you the um another type of cost, which is mixed cost, no, and how you can be able to segregate the portion related to variable cost and then the fixed cost. So through this analysis, the cost behavior analysis, this will help the management plan operations and decide between alternative courses of action. Mo nang mas preferable for the internal reports sa company na gamiton nila ang contribution margin income statement or the variable costing income statement, wherein the management can see directly what or how much costs pertain to variable cost and then how much cost pertain to fixed cost. So, bottom line here is that it's much more relevant to be used for decision making process. Then applies to all types of businesses and entities, no? So, yes, this is much more a very simple topic, no, and very basic, um or like all departments probably know what are costs, no? Then kanang unsa importance sa costs, no? So businesses exist for profit, and without um like the drivers of the business, um what they call this one, the drive the business will be successful, no, if um it maximizes profits, right? And yeah, um it maximizes profits, and then the profits have an impact um from the revenues. How much does the business generates from its revenues? And not just that, the concept of the cost, no? So no pain, no gain, no? So dapat na-adjud na siya cost that will be considered, no, before a profit will be realized. So that's the starting point in measuring key business activities. And then um again, the analysis here about cost behavior, it's the study of how specific costs respond to changes in the level of business activity. So activity levels like volume, no? Changes of volume, and it may be expressed in terms of sales dollars in a retail company, miles driven in a trucking company, room occupancy in a hotel, then dance classes taught by a dance studio. So depends upon the nature of the business, what are the activities there. So I think in your ABC, this was tackled. So many companies use more than one measurement base, depende kung sa applicable sa ilaha, no? So, okay. And the changes in the level or volume of activity should be correlated with the changes in costs. So, um, if na changes, activity levels, sa volume, no? So, na siya impact, no, with how cost will change. So, just like in your variable cost. So, activity level selected is called activity or volume index. And then activity index, this identifies the activity that causes changes in the behavior of the costs. No, so what drives the change in the costs, no? The behavior of the costs. So this allow costs to be classified as variable, fixed, or mixed. Now, for the variable costs, these costs that vary in total directly and proportionately with the changes in activity level. So, direct and proportionate siya, no, with the change in the activity level, ang imong variable costs. So, if mo increase, no, ang imong activity level, then your variable cost will also increase. But if the activity level drops, so your variable cost will also be lesser. Then we are talking about here the total variable costs, ha. So it varies, no? Um, from from the word variable, no? Varies, no? We may associate that to um it varies, no? The cost will vary. And then your variable costs per unit, on the other hand, so per unit, we're talking about per unit here, the variable cost per unit, that will remain the same at every level of activity. Regardless, your activity increase, your activity level increases or decreases, your variable cost per unit will always be the same given we are within the relevant range, no? So within the normal operating zone of the business. And this is an example of how we can illustrate the variable costs. So as you can see here, it starts here, no? So in your, what they call this one, in your graph, so it started at point 0. So it just means that um when there is zero production, then that means your variable cost, total variable cost, will be zero as well. And as the production of the computers, tablet computers, will increase, your total variable cost in pesos, in dollars here, will also increase. So, ang inyong yung timan-an ani is that kuan siya, diagonal. Diagonal siya, no? And it will be diagonal siya, then pa-right, no? So this company yeah, produces tablets, and what's what are the other outputs here? Yeah, I think number of tablets. Okay, so for the variable cost per unit, on the other hand, variable cost per unit, no? So variable cost per unit here, it remains the same. So it's still at $10. So $10 siya regardless kung pilang ma-produce, no? Within the relevant range. So whether it produces 2,000 or 10,000 tablets, it will always be $10. So ang normal operating zone, for example, or ang relevant range niya is up until 10,000 production of tablets, no? So that's $10. Pero if it will produce 15,000, which is beyond the capacity levels, the normal capacity level of the company. So that means your variable cost per unit here will increase na because it's beyond the relevant range. Okay, and for the comparison, no, as you can see here, your total variable costs will look like this in your graph. Then your variable cost per unit will look like this in your graph. So it remains the same within the relevant range. And now for the fixed cost, total fixed costs, I mean, is that this cost will remain the same. In total, regardless of the changes in the activity level within a relevant range. On the other hand, your fixed cost per unit varies inversely. So your fixed cost per unit mo change siya, no? It varies inversely. So inversely, take note, it's inverse, no, with the activity. So as your volume increases, so your production increases, your fixed cost per unit will decline. So mas gamay imong fixed cost per unit if your volume will increase, if your production increases. So examples here are your property taxes, insurance, the rent, then depreciation on buildings and equipment. So this is how we can illustrate it in our graph. So it's like the same with our variable cost per unit, no? So variable cost per unit and total fixed costs, they are the same because they remain unchanged within the relevant range, regardless of activity levels. Now, for the fixed cost per unit, it varies inversely, no? So, di ba, kato atong total variable cost, it varies direct and proportionately with the level of volume or with the level of activity. But here, for your fixed cost per unit, it will vary inversely. So, with this, here, $5 per unit imong fixed cost per unit, no? $5 siya. When you produce two tablet computers, no? Okay? So this pertains to example here is rent expense. So $5 imuhang rent if you produce $5 per unit If you produce two, then if you produce four, magkagamay siya, no? So that's your fixed cost per unit. So mo ni siya ang itsura. Okay? So for example, your total fixed cost is how much was that? That's 10,000 per month, no? And your example here is that at 2,000 units, the unit cost per tablet is, for example, 2,000 din siya class. No, in 1,000 man day, in 000. So $10,000 divided by 2,000, that's $5. But when the company produces 10,000 tablets, so that's 10,000 rent expense, total rent expense, then divided by 10,000 tablet computers. So now you have a fixed cost per unit of $1. So mas kung magkadaghan imong production, no, mas magkagamay imong fixed cost per unit. This is the comparison of your fixed cost, total fixed costs. So here, 10,000 siya within the relevant range, but your fixed cost per unit will vary inversely pa um pa down siya, no? Pa down siya. Okay? So that's it. And we already discussed about relevant range. So throughout the range of possible levels of activity, a straight line relationship usually does not exist for either variable costs or fixed costs. So this is an important reminder because um, within the relevant range, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will always be a straight line, no? Although somewhat like straight line siya ang porma sa imuhang um ang porma sa lines there sa graph, no? But actually, um this is often curvy linear. So nagyapon siya line but it's somewhat like curve, no? Curvy linear. So for fixed costs, the relationship is also non-linear. So some fixed costs will not change over the entire range of activities, while other fixed costs may change. So kung non-linear siya, what do we mean by non-linear? Non-linear, murag ang kuan ana niya is like a zigzag or more siyag step, no? Kana more siyag hagdan. So it's not a straight line. So that's a very simple definition of nonlinear, no? So let's look at this. So your total variable costs, this is what curvilinear looks like. So dili siya straight, but entirely straight, but it has a curve in it. And then total fixed cost, this is an example of nonlinear. So curvilinear, this means that the graph is a curve or includes curves. Nonlinear is kato akong giingon is it includes anything that is not a straight line. So probably it will include a curve. So it may be it will it may be in it may be um have sharp angles, mga steps like this one, or mga breaks. So, I just want to point out that all nonlinear, no? All nonlinear will include circles, mga waves, mga curves. So, it includes curvilinear. Um, curvilinear um lines, no? So, mas broad siya nga term ang nonlinear, no? Basta something nga it is not a straight line. Okay? So your curvilinear probably may include circles, mga ellipses, no? Or a wave, just like this. Basta something smoothly curved. Okay? So now, if you may ask, where asa man a relevant range. So maybe we can um, point out or we can shade the relevant range here. So sa total variable costs, maybe we can have it in the middle, no? But it depends ha kung unsay normal operating levels of normal operating zone sa company, no? For example, here the relevant range is between 40 to 80. So although ang relevant range, in simpler terms, it's linear, no? But it doesn't always mean that it's a straight line. So it includes curves, no? So like this one. So curvilinear ang mas appropriate term for a relevant range. So our total fixed cost naman, so maybe we can um, put we can have an illustration like this. And then beyond the relevant range, mas kuan siya, lahi na siyag itsura, no? So, um, or it will be departed from the line that was within the relevant range. So this is how we can illustrate the relevant range and the costs that we talked about, whether that's total variable cost or total fixed costs. And for the graphical presentation about CVP or BEP, as you can see here, Please familiarize ha. Please familiarize the parts, no, of your CVP graph. So, ang pinakasayon for me diri is the total fixed cost, which is this one, fixed cost line. So, let me start with this one. The total fixed cost here, 200, no? So, sorry. So, why does it start here and not here, no? Kay bisag zero ang production or zero ang units sold. So, 200, 400, 600, these are the units sold. Bisag zero siya, no? You you will still have to pay $200,000 of your fixed cost. So it will never be in the zero, no? It will never be here. So elevated yun na siya usually. And within the relevant range, is it remains the same. So that's why it's just a straight line here, no? So again, for simplicity purposes, within the relevant range, it doesn't necessarily mean that straight line you see, ah. It can have a curvilinear shape, no? So, but for simplicity purposes, your total fixed cost here is a straight line. And then your total cost line here, total cost, I'm not saying variable cost, ha? It's a total cost. So that includes the variable costs and also the fixed costs. So here, your this is the fixed cost line. So it's 200,000, no? 200,000 pesos, 200,000 pesos. So it's in dollars here, $1,000. Your total cost is probably this is 750,000 or probably $730,000. So $730,000, and then minus the 200,000. So unsa may nabilin? 730,000 minus 200,000. That is 530,000, no? 530,000. So that gap is what you call the variable costs, the total variable costs. So that's why here, this will comprise of the 530,000. So dili gyud nimo siya directly, or it's not a straightforward, um you cannot see directly the line for the total variable cost because it is embedded in the total cost line, no? So when you subtract the total fixed cost from the total cost line, it will have a gap, and it is attributable to total variable costs. And another part here is our sales line, no? So zero units sold, and then zero pod ang dollars, no? Zero ang total sales. So, then while nagkataas ang units sold, magkataas pod imong total sales. Okay? And then, as you can see here, your total sales less your total cost, no? So, your total cost line is from here to here, no? Here to here. So, ni-exceed man ang imong total sales. So, na portion here nga pertaining to the profit. So, this one pertains to the profit. But here, as you can see, imong total sales is shaded here, no? Shaded here. But naay ni exceed here nga total cost nimo. So, mas higher ang cost here kaysa sa imong total sales. So, the shaded portion here pertains to the loss area. Okay? I hope that you get what I meant. So here, na-exceed imong total sales. That's why you have a profit area, no? So total sales less total cost, that's your profit area. Here, na-exceed imong total cost kaysa sa imong total sales. That's why you have incurred a loss here. Okay? Now, what's what's this called? This is the intersection, no? This is where your total sales will be equal to total cost. So this is your break-even point. And when we locate the break-even point in dollars, it's 500,000. So at $500,000, we do not incur a loss or we do not earn a profit, no? Then at 1,000 units, so if we sold 1,000 in units, wala sa tay profit, wala sa tay loss. So we are at break even. So yes, these are the parts in your CVP graph or your break even point graph. And then for your mixed costs. So your mixed cost, na siya'y component of a variable cost, na siya'y element of variable cost, and na siya'y component of your fixed cost, no? So how can we be able to identify how much is for the variable cost and how much is for the fixed cost? So your mixed cost here changes in total, but not proportionately with changes in the activity level. No, kaya naman siya component na fixed pod. So it doesn't proportionately change with the activity level entirely. Okay? So, imong mixed cost dili siya um okay. So, you may ask, why are costs usually mixed, no? Nganong naa man gyud mixed cost, dili pwede nga variable cost na lang, fixed cost na lang. So, the reason is that many real world costs naa gyud siya fixed and variable cost component. Now, for example, sa utilities, imong electricity, imong water. So, naa siya'y fixed monthly charge, no? So, regardless if you use the water, your electricity, naa siya'y fixed baron. Like, for example, 200 pesos. For example lang ha. Then, if you use your electricity, your water, then there's a variable component there, no? It will be charged based on our consumption. Then another example is the salesperson salaries. So probably some companies will give them a fixed base na salary, and then they may also give a commission, which is the variable component there, no, which is based on sales. Then equipment maintenance. So probably there may be a fixed annual maintenance contract fee, then plus any variable costs for repairs and unsa ba, maintenance that are needed based on the usage, no? So we really need to understand how to separate the variable cost and also the fixed cost component of the mixed costs, because it is again for decision making purposes, used for cost analysis, um budgeting, mga decision making, no, sa businesses. So that's why we will tackle here the segregation technique used, um, the high-low method. And high-low method ra ako ma-discuss for today, class. Okay, so um, for the other segregation techniques like the scatter graph and the least squares, that is in chapter 2, no? But I will try my very best to give you a notes for it. So if time permits. So thank you so much for understanding on that. And then high-low method. So high-low method. So this is one of the segregation techniques for the mixed cost, no? So high-low method uses the total costs incurred at the high and the low levels of activity to classify mixed costs into fixed and variable components. So my formula for this one, and I will discuss to you. So the difference in cost between the high and low levels represents the variable costs. And since only variable cost element can change as activity levels change. So this is the formula. So for you to better appreciate um, high-low method. So high-low method. So you will first locate what are the activity levels na high and low, no? And what are the corresponding costs to that here? So that's the numerator, and then this is the denominator. And then the the answer that you will derive from this formula is the variable cost per unit. Because again, the difference in your costs between the high and low levels, this represents the variable costs. Kay, ang variable cost element naman ang mo change when activity levels change. No? So that's the variable cost per unit. So this is the example, the data. As you can see here, unsa may low and high activity levels. So ang pinaka-lowest, ang lowest here is the January, the 20,000. Then the highest is the 50,000. 50,000. Dili ninyo allocate ang lowest cost ha o ang highest cost. Dapat mag-una mo og locate sa lowest activity, which is 20,000. Right? And yeah, 20,000. So the lowest cost, what's my lowest cost here? Okay. Coincidentally, it's the same, no, with the lowest level here. So 30,000. So mag-una gyud mag-locate ha sa lowest activity and then the highest activity, which is 60, which is 50,000, and then the corresponding cost is 63,000. So imong numerator is 63,000 less 30,000, no? Your denominator is referring to your high and low activity levels, which is 50,000 and 20,000. So that's it. Your variable cost per unit is 1.10. Now, that's the step one only. The step two is to determine the fixed cost by subtracting the total variable cost at either the high or the low activity level from the total cost at that activity level. So, atong computon sa ang total variable cost. And it depends, no? Kung unsa tong gamiton, the high activity level or the low activity level. So example, 50,000 times 1.10. The high activity level is 55,000. Your lowest activity level is computed as 20,000 times 1.10. That's 22,000. So your total cost here is 63,000. Diba? Your total cost is 63,000. 63,000 less your variable cost. Total variable cost is 55,000. Therefore, your total fixed cost is 8,000. And for the total cost in the lowest level of activity, it's 30,000. Here, 30,000. And then your total variable cost is 20,000 times 1.10. So you arrive at the same total fixed cost. So that's how you segregate the components of the mixed cost. Now, another example is here. Maintenance costs are therefore 8,000 per month of fixed cost plus 1.10 per mile of variable costs. No? Yeah. Mhm. So this is a connected this is connected scenario di. So this is represented by the following formula. 8,000 is your fixed cost times or plus your variable cost, which is variable cost per unit times the miles driven, which is pila man imong miles driven there. So for example, 45,000 miles. So 45,000 miles times 1.10, that's 49,500 plus your 8,000 fixed cost. So your total cost is 57,500. And then this is the plot, the scatter graph. This is an example of the scatter graph class, no? Scatter plot for Metro Transit, no? Scatter graph. So, ang scatter graph mas focus siya sa graph, no? And then, um, yeah. So, we will not be discussing the scatter plot or the scatter graph here, and also the regression. So, I would recommend you to read chapter 2 for the scatter graph and least squares regression. No, so only those important points, class, and do not overwhelm yourself. Do not overthink as well. So you study hard, but you also pray the hardest, class, for God to give you an access to His wisdom and knowledge. No, so God bless each one, and see you again next time. Bye bye, everyone.